how would you define emo?
Typical suburban white kids who are rebelling against their parents in a way, sort of.
It's like you listen to the same music, you dress in a similar way.
Super fucking people that look like this, fucking tight ass pants like a motherfucker. Honestly, why is your pants so fucking tight? I hate all you fucking T kids. There you go.
All the emo kids, they'll listen to the same types of music, wear the same types of clothes, like youth sizes, you have to wear youth sizes, pants that don't close, the 3-studded belts, always white too, the white ones.
Tight pants, long hair, shaggy hair, unkempt.
Tight jeans for guys, crazy hair. I don't know, I think it's people who want to be something that they can't be, and it's accepted in the scene. Be whatever you want.
It's punk minus the virility, minus the intensity. It's a lot of melancholy, self-pitying. It doesn't have the biting social relevance. It doesn't have the primal intensity of the underground scene.
Emo is short for emotional. I mean, every music, that's what it is. That's what it is. Emo means emotional. Every music has emotion in it. I mean, unless you are held at gunpoint being forced to play in a band.
I think that it varies, but mostly it's, yeah, trying to all be different in the same way.
It's what it's become since it originated. I mean, do you guys? I'm familiar. Yeah, like Right to Spring, Texas is the reason. Bands like that, when it stood for like emotional hard, like you know, as I'm sure you know, it came out of like emotional hardcore music, where hardcore singers, as opposed to being like Henry Rollins and Black Flag, where he would sing about, hey, I want to drink a 6-pack tonight, they would sing about their emotions. And now basically instead of this emotional hardcore type thing, when I say if I were to call you emo, it would basically mean that I think that you're a whiny baby.
You cry, oh, here's my song with the same 4 chords about my girlfriend who fell off a cliff. I cried. She died. I cried.
She wasn't really my girlfriend, but she looked at me once in the hallway in high school.
So you feel like the subculture is a little superficial now?
Oh, it's gotten crazy.
Like, honestly, like the scene's not about like, it's not even about music anymore, bro. It's like fucking about like a trend. Fuck these people.
I think a lot of bands like the Cribs and Nightmare of You, they have songs that are like pretty much mocking out the scene. You know, Nightmare of You's got Dear Scene, I Wish I Were Deaf. The Cribs have Hey Scenesters. They're pretty much calling them out on it, saying, look, it should be about the music, not about the fashion.
Local bands looking to get big, who are not necessarily looking for people who are gonna like play the instrument and like understand the songs that they're playing, but so much as they're going to look the part. Like say, we're a very scene band. I've heard bands describe themselves as a scene band. Whatever that means, I have no idea.
There's definitely, I mean, I think that's part of like any rock scene. It's not exclusive to indie rock, you know. But like if you go to a metal concert, chains and leather, you know, and if you go to a Kiss concert, everybody's wearing makeup. I don't know.
They just, I don't know. Well, I mean, there's always trends in fashion, I guess, and you can wear whatever you want, and you know, it's just when you're more concerned with how you look than going to see the band that you know you're supposed to be supporting, kind of thing. Yeah, you know, watching the like the 4 girls stand in the hallway and not watch any of the bands. They pay $10 to get in, but they don't go and watch or support any of the bands. They're here because it's the cool thing to do for the night.
You know, kids want to get out and go to a show, you know, whether it be see us or just the fact that, you know, there used to be so many places you could just go and hang out at shows. So, you know, any show that's going on, kids will come to, just cause.
And a lot of times if somebody knows somebody who's in a band, not everybody's in a band. So it's kind of a cool thing to know people who are out there and like, you know, doing it, because it's not as easy as it seems. So I think they feel like they have a connection. So, you know, it's something to do. And, you know, if it's a Friday night, you're not doing anything, hey, I know this kid is in a band, let's go, you know. It's something to do for 45 minutes.
Like I said, I just mentioned a couple of bands. Taproot, My Chemical Romance, I went to see Murphy's Law, I've seen Dead Kennedys, I've seen Van Halen, I've seen Kiss, I've seen Prince. Eric B. and Rakim. I mean, I've seen a whole bunch of different kinds of bands looking pretty much the way I look, you know, not now, but I mean, I've transformed over the years, but looking the way that I want to look. And I think that on the indie level or on the underground level, there's more or there's less attention to how I look or how I'm going to fit in and it's more about the music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's more about that vibe. It's about that soul. So that's what I think.
So in general, do you think individuality exists?
Of course.
How would you be an individual? Or how can you strive to be an individual besides like the whole music thing?
You just do things your own way.
It's just like middle school when you're trying to fit in with somebody, you know. You start acting a certain way and dressing a certain way, and if it really happens to appeal to you, then you start believing it.
I mean, that's the whole high school thing, you know. You found it all the time, different little cliques and stuff, and you always wanted to be in the popular clique or this kind of clique or that kind of clique, and you know, you always find people being not true to themselves, trying to be somebody else. And it's frustrating to see somebody doing that.
There's always going to be that element of peer pressure, no matter what. And that's what it breaks down to, is just, you know, you want to go see Taproot, you know what I'm saying, or My Chemical Romance. You're going to go and you're going to put on the mascara. If you're a guy, you're going to put on mascara and dark clothes and boots and, you know, all of that look with the spiky, moosed up hair or some messy look, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about finding stuff that you like and taking that and taking what you like and making it your own. Not necessarily turning yourself into like finding a cookie cutter and putting yourself into that.
They feed off the teenage angst that is in everyone's life, just some people buy into it and some people don't.
In the United States, it's like pretty much if you listen to a certain subgenre of music, that creates a community around it. Like people that listen to underground hip-hop, they hang out together. People that listen to punk rock, they hang out together, and emo and indie.
So there is a scene for everything, and everything falls into a scene, whether you like to think it or not.
Well, I'd like to think that it's in that antagonistic dynamic. It's in the perpetual need to be something else's antithesis that we can kind of preserve that angst. Once you give in, once you accommodate, once you reconcile, you really forfeit your authenticity, and that's what I think a lot of this is about. It's about people that are starting off on the wrong foot.
I think you can be an individual within any culture, you know? I think it really has to do with your mindset. I don't think it has to do with the way you dress. I think that's the problem, is a lot of people define themselves by how they dress or what music they're into, and that's not really how to define yourself. You really got to define yourself by your morals and your values and how you treat other people, you know?
Right.
So, if you're going by those terms, which I think once you get older, anybody realizes that's how you know, define yourself. I think as you get older, you see that everyone is really an individual.
So where do you guys see yourselves in, like, let's say, 5 years?
Hopefully farther than we are now, but definitely still doing this.
Within 5 years, I want to tour Europe and Japan.
What's number one on the college radio charts will be, I'd say, mainstream 2 years. Radio, 2 years.
Definitely.
MTV 2, maybe in 1 year. Like mainstream 2 years.
When you don't have anything authentic behind your angst, once you grow up, you're gonna fall apart.
The lifestyle's a phase. Rock music will always be there. It's just gonna keep developing into different styles.
If you had a message to give to the conformed youth, what would it be?
I would say that you guys have to learn that, well, it's tough because I think it's really hard when you're younger to understand it, but once you're like out of high school and you're out of cliques being around you and stuff, you realize that like it's not important to be like anyone else. It's more important to stand out and like be yourself. And I know people say that, and it's like it's almost like a cliche by now to say that all the time, but it's the truth. Like being yourself is something that everyone I think grows into. And if kids can just like grasp that earlier, like there are kids in high school that do grasp that early, and a lot of times they're viewed as like outcasts because they're weird or whatever, but it sucks. But those kids, those ones that are the weird ones, should definitely hold on to what they have because it's something beautiful.